Alright, hello and welcome. This is not a tutorial, this is an attempt to get all of the achievements under Ancient Warriors on hardcore mode. And I did get these achievements back in February of this year. However, afterwards I decided that was really miserable. I don't ever want to play this game again, and I just went and played Minecraft for like 12 hours straight because it was hard. I lost track of how many attempts it took, but it was definitely more than 12. Probably more than 20, honestly. Anyway, let's jump back in and see what kind of tips I can hopefully share. A couple of things come to mind, and the first is that leather is an extremely important resource in this game because we need it for our guard towers. And we also, of course, need it for other things like transport and clothing. So managing that particular resource is going to be a real struggle in this particular game. The other thing is that I don't ever try to increase the speed more than 2 or 3 because this game is going to take a lot of careful planning, of course. Once we start getting raider attacks in the 2nd or 3rd year, they're going to be so frequent. I mean, like every single year, you should plan for at least one raider attack, and that is going to interrupt a lot of our regular work. For that reason, we're not going to rely on farming as a food source very much. We're only going to use farming for just the essentials, like a little bit of wheat, maybe a little bit of vegetables, but for the most part, we want to rely on hunting as our main food source whenever possible, because we need the resources. We need bone, we need leather, and so forth. So we're just going to scoop up some of this rye and barley and whatnot in the area, and then that's going to be it for that. And oh my god, there's a mammoth back there. Thank you, Lord. That's excellent. Oops, not the children. Deselect. Wow. Yeah, let's get that mammoth. That's fantastic. Wow. I wonder if I should restart this game because I almost never see a mammoth at the start of the game. So it's kind of unusual, to be honest with you. Anyone not doing anything can go hunt that as well, because especially in the winter, it's going to be real slim pickings around here. There's not going to be much in the way of hunting. Oh, and speaking of leather, I'm actually going to go ahead and set down the tannin collection points right now before I forget. And so that is very important, and I would much rather put it down now than have to remember it in the spring. Oh, right, okay. Let's look at our resources. Obviously, defenses are going to take a lot of logs. We're going to be doing so much hunting, so I don't want to limit myself in terms of how much meat we collect. I'm going to make that unlimited. I'm going to decrease this so that we don't overproduce, because we don't need that much. And then as far as fishing goes, I'm not going to be doing a lot of that. Probably won't be doing much mining except when absolutely necessary. I would rather they make bows instead of slings. Of course, we're going to up that all the way. And what else? We do need a lot of axes because we're going to be cutting down trees left and right. And for now, oh yes, bump that up. And I'm sorry to say this, but they're just going to have to get by on limited summer clothing for now. And what else? Bump that up. Get some of those up. Might as well build these. And of course, gonna have to start cutting down trees sooner rather than later. The sooner the better, because they take forever to grow back. And so we want to always be amassing lumber, both for building our defenses and for repairing them when they inevitably get destroyed. And I know we don't have the resources for these yet, but I want them to be ready to go as soon as we are producing leather in the spring. So, okay, our workload is sky high, but I will drop one more task down for them just for now. And that's going to be building that house. Get a little more storage. Alright, so, as I said, main priority is going to be defenses, which means lots and lots of cutting down trees and conserving leather. We want to have a lot of prestige to draw more people to the village. I'm just going to build these basics for now, but for the most part, when it comes to creating prestige structures, we actually want to rely on burial structures a lot, and that will serve to draw people to the village, and once they get killed, we'll have plenty of places to bury them. So, yeah, that'll be a plus. Go ahead and drop those down right there. And wow, gosh, workload is really high. I screwed that up, didn't I? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and press 4 for now. Wait till it drops down to about 100%, and then we will start giving out other tasks. In the meantime, I just want to point some out. Fortifications are obviously very important in this game, but I don't see much point in getting it right at the start because we don't have a lot of axes, we don't have a lot of manpower to cut down the trees, so, I mean, there's not a whole lot of point. We're not going to get attacked in the first year. I would say, actually, that getting a flint mine is probably a little more important. I think it's a good first step to getting fortifications because, again, we need lots of axes and so forth. Oops, I forgot to set up stick collection. Yes, although we will get lots of sticks once we start cutting down more trees. And I forget. This is why I get my butt kicked. I forgot to turn all this on. There we go. Yeah, tools would be helpful. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to unlock when I can is a flint mine. And of course I will want a little storage place for all that flint. Guess I'll put it right there. Yeah, so definitely want to keep our workload at a manageable level. Do as I say, not as I do. Because every time the raiders come and attack us, in between those attacks, it's like we're going to be playing catch up for all the tasks that we've assigned. It really does slow down your work when you're constantly having to repair stuff. I remember there were times when I would just finish repairing everything and think, okay, now I can get back to my other tasks, and then another raider attack would happen, and it was extremely frustrating. Man, I really do want to hunt, though. Let's gather up a little hunting party. Just a little one. Get a few spears. Get some bear. It's just about spring. Farming, as I said, is not going to be a huge part of this game. I am just going to plant the tiniest amount of crops. We basically want to hunt whenever possible. Now, as far as the AI goes in this game, they do advance at their own pace. However, it's not as fast as I originally thought it was. If you look at their weapons when they first start attacking you, you can tell when they start jumping from bone to copper. And I did see in a forum, I can't remember where, I think it might have been on the subreddit, that suggested don't upgrade your tech until you see that the enemies have upgraded theirs. And I do think that's pretty solid advice. Because I feel like, and this is just a hunch, but I feel like when you start advancing quickly, the AI obviously is going to keep pace with you, because that's the challenge of the game, is that the enemies are difficult to defeat. So I think if you start jumping into copper and bronze, then of course, you know, the enemy is going to keep pace with you at a minimum. So I honestly think it's okay not to rush and not to speed ahead as quickly as possible in terms of advancement. I am going to go ahead and get fortifications though, because that's definitely something that we need to start working on. And we did get a few more people in the village. Get out. So as soon as our workload drops a little bit, then we need to start cutting down trees. Okay, so it is, I think, I believe this is our third spring. I already lost track. Yeah, okay. Anyway, it is time to start working on our defenses. I don't have as much a stockpile of wood as I would like to have had, but either way, it's time to get started on that. Oh, hello. I might actually take some of this so that I can use more raw skins for leather. The question is what to give you. I guess I can give you these. Maybe those. Oh, you know what? You can have this, because I don't even like slings. What else? What else? Straw, I suppose. Hey, that works. Okay. Where was I? Yes. Defenses. Now, if you just, like, do a search for people's maps and stuff, there's all different varieties of defenses that people have come up with. I think that there's a lot of creativity out there in terms of defenses. I'm just going to show you the one that I use, which is to have only 4 gates for the entire village, which is inconvenient for the villagers, but it's pretty convenient when it comes time to repair those. Alright, so the construction method that I used in previous games that seemed to work fairly well was just to double up on defenses and then have at least like 2 or 3 layers of walls. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 gate here. I'm not going to bother with watchtowers yet because I find that if you just have one on its own, it gets destroyed every time. I mean, the basic watchtower is extremely weak and it's kind of a waste of resources unless you have a bunch of them or they're supported by lots of wooden platforms, which I'm going to build first, and then watchtowers once the attacks start getting worse. So there's our first gate. We got that down. I'm going to go ahead just a little ways, and I'm going to put a second gate down. Build some walls in between, like so. Actually, don't need that. And then I'm going to cover the front of the gate, oops, with some defenses. So that's kind of basically what it looks like. It's going to be a double thick wall, 2 sets of gates for now. Gate 1, gate 2, double wall in between. And I'm going to encircle this in the inner, I'm going to encircle our village with the first set of walls and then build out from there. So basically, I shouldn't do this because our workload is so high, but it's going to look like this. Build a wall. Yep. Like so. And this is our inner wall. And so we have this much room to build. And then as needed, I will just add more reinforcements to the outside of those walls as they get destroyed. Now, again, leather is super important, so I actually do want to start with flax domestication as soon as possible. I doubt that I'll get any planted just now, so I guess I will wait until next spring to do that. But flax is going to be very helpful in reserving our leather for watchtowers. I want to be able to put at least 3 of these down. One of the things I'm not a fan of in this game is that you can't pause construction like you can in, say, Forest Village, which makes planning a little difficult. You just kind of have to eyeball it. And, you know, in the easier versions of this game, I would just be like, okay, I'll just construct it, and then if it's in the wrong place, just deconstruct it. But resources being so precious in this difficulty, I would rather not have to deconstruct anything. Ooh, hello. Get a little hunting party together. Yes. And I hate to say it, but I might as well put down another burial mound, because I know we're going to need it in the future. So what are we at now? We've got survived 2 years, 20 people. I can't believe we haven't seen raiders yet. Kind of shocked, honestly. Alright. So of these people who I have selected, let's go ahead and divvy them up. You can go after that. Yep. You four can go after that one. And let's see, I think you lot can go after that one. There we go. Is there a more effective way to plan hunting? I don't know. Nice. Pew pew pew. Alright, let's see, I also need bridges. No point in doing weaving because I don't have any flax. And we're gonna go with this as well because it is time to start prepping some of these megaliths so I can start building some fancy burial mounds. Again, something that's gonna require leather for transport, but I will get them dug up. Just 2 for now. And then eventually this is what we want to spend our megaliths on as dolmens because they got a pretty decent amount of prestige. Yeah, you actually don't have anything that I want. Thanks though. Oh, hello. Okay, first raider attack. Yeah, they're crossing the river here, and a couple times I've made the mistake of getting confused and selecting everybody to run over here to meet them, but that's just the crossing point that they are able to walk across. They are going to come back over here. Right through these nice big gaps in the wall. Oh, and there's a blizzard. That's nice. How are we doing with bows? Most everybody's got a bow, so that's good. Now let's see, I want to micromanage this as much as possible. Melee fighters, yes, please charge. Is there anyone still left standing here besides the dog? No, but you guys can come down here and help. Get. No, don't chase after them. Attack the ones who are attacking. Yes. Look at this guy. He just really wants to attack that wall. Dang, they killed all my dogs. Well, you know what they say, waste not, want not. Okay. Fortunately, nobody else died. Except for the raiders. Not bad. I think we did okay. But every time there's an attack, you want to slow the game down to the slowest it can go and try to micromanage the attackers as much as possible. And have your melee fighters, I guess, stay in groups and make sure nobody runs off. Because if they're running, I don't really care about chasing them halfway across the map. I want to keep my fighters concentrated. So anytime they start chasing after invaders, try to pull them back to the battle. Yes, what else? Okay, sheep. Ugh, that's gonna involve a lot of farming, keeping those bastards alive. But we gotta do it eventually. Might as well start with linen first, however. So I guess I'll do a little field of that. Flax. Small field. That's it. We're halfway through the winter, workload is very high. It needs to be low by the time we get to spring, so I don't want to assign any tasks at all. Alright, so once again, I'm gonna repeat whatever structure I built over here, and I'm just gonna do the same thing for the sake of simplicity, and that will make things easier to remember when it comes time to repairing. Build another gate. Yes, like so, and that way I can put a defense tower behind the gate, although it doesn't really make much of a difference because they can, of course, destroy that. I just think it looks cool. Yeah, having the defense tower in between the gates, it's not going to make a huge difference because they can just destroy that tower, whether it's behind a gate or not. So we'll get this built. Get some double thick walls built. 2 gates, because 2 is better than 1. We'll get that built along there. That's nice and built. I think it's so funny that you can still close the gates even though they're enclosed. Alright, let's see. Collect some tannin before we cut down these oak trees. What else? That one. Oop. Yeah, it's getting harder to find animals because we've hunted just about everything out of the area. So that's gonna get harder and harder. There are these pigs up here though. I think I'll go for that once the workload drops a tiny bit. They're probably already watered. No, they're not watered yet. Okay, looks like they're going to the water now. That is such a far way to go though. And let's get this prepped. And my goodness, we are just gonna do one megalith at a time because I remember one of the mistakes I made in this game was getting a bunch of them dug up at once and then wondering, where did all my people go? Oh, it's because they're off fetching megaliths, getting their butt kicked by wolves. Alright, we want a nice big dolmen, and I want it to look good, so I want to put it on top of one of these hills. I don't want people to have to go too far to bury their dead. So, actually, I think I'll put it here on this hillside instead. Yeah, that's better. Alright, how are we doing? Not too bad. Oh my god, and there's one more thing. There's one more thing that I forgot to mention. This is an egalitarian village, so everybody who can fight is going to fight. We need everybody to get their ass out here and defend the village. I mean, it's not like we're relying on births to expand the village anyway. So, yeah, that's, what is that, the F6 menu? Yes, F6. Everybody needs to fight. In Soviet Russia, everyone fight. What is this? Nice. Yes, wow. Kill 100 raiders. This is the kind of thing that you don't even have to specifically go for it. It'll just happen on its own. This is the hard one. If you even survive to this point, all you have to do is stop all other production and make nothing but swords, because at that point you're close to the end of the game anyway. Stick that there. We'll stick... I have to wonder, why on earth is the outfitter building so big? I mean to say, like... Okay, let me nerd out for a second. Ancient weaving, like, the second that clothing comes off of the loom after it's done being woven, that's it. That's your outfit. It's like a big square of woven cloth and you just tie it up. So, there's our loom. I don't understand why this building is so big. I mean, these are not fitted, tailored garments. So, like, what are they even doing in here? Anyway, that's just my angry weaver opinion. And I guess I'll just have to throw this massive building somewhere. I don't know where. I'll just put it there. There we go. That leaves a little narrow path in between. Okay, storage. I guess I'll put some more storage in the center of the village. But I still want them to be able to walk through. What is that? What's that? Hunt it. What's another thing? There's no money in this game, but cloth is the next best thing to money. So I definitely don't want to limit production of that, even though we probably won't have the time to construct all of it. get this up and going because it's so close by, so I don't care if they have to go that far in the winter. Oh, what? What? Hello? Also, what? Also, oh my god. The gods have sent a blessing to me. And I'm not going to domesticate these goats because I just don't need goats. I don't have the hay to feed goats. I need sheep. I don't need goats. We don't need milk for anything. It's not part of the achievements. So don't worry in the slightest about domesticating goats. We just don't need them. And what are we missing? Oh god, we're out of lumber. Speaking of deforestation, it's time to shift these back a little bit because we're cutting down all the trees that they rely on. And new ones haven't grown back yet. It's also time to start cutting down this. Make sure there's no fruit trees in there. Cut. And I've kind of been slipping on our defenses. We don't even have a proper wall built. I know that our workload is high, but we gotta do what you gotta do. So we'll put that there. Put another gate like so. Put another gate in front of it. And covered it. Ta-da! I also remember putting a gate here and it almost never ever got attacked. What is that? How do you think you can just walk up in my business like this? Ugh. Is there anything else? Yes, look at this. Oh my god. I know you guys are busy, but we have so much stuff to hunt. Alright, I need to stop clicking on things now because our workload is very high. It's not going to get any lower unless I stop clicking on stuff. Damn it, look at this though. How am I not supposed to hunt that? Like what? Guys. Oh geez, there's a raider attack and I'm so busy. I should have expected that, honestly. At least they're nice enough to come at the direction that's mostly fortified. Let's get everybody into place. Let's go ahead and close these walls up. I think that will be helpful now that we don't... Oh, and there's mammoths there too. Close these gates. Get everybody inside. What? Why are the dogs over there? And I forgot to build platforms here. So that's not helpful. Might as well open the gates. Yep, might as well open those up. Have everybody come and fight. While these guys are distracted with the dogs. Excellent, okay. I don't care about chasing them. Pretty good. Nobody died. Except the dogs. Cool. Okay. We've got a decent amount of leather. I'm gonna go ahead and build... Oh, speaking of, now that we have linen outfits, I'm gonna slowly wean them off of using leather for clothing. So yeah, build a few more of these. No summer crops. And I think I am gonna now start building some defensive structures. So the first few times I played this, I put the stables outside the defensive structures, as I did in the normal mode game, because I thought, oh, it'd be safe and they won't attack it. Well, it turns out the raiders do attack it, actually, and, you know, especially if they attack you in the fall and then you don't have any place to put your animals. Oh my god. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But I did find, because, I mean, it just takes up so much space on the inside, and I want people's homes to be on the inside. of the defensive structures. So I did find that when I put the stables way out of the way, and I mean it only gets used in the winter anyway, then it doesn't get attacked as much because the raiders are going to be drawn to this instead. I think every now and then a couple raiders would attack it, but less so than when it's right up against the gates. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you're playing on a map, maybe you can put your stables kind of out of the way if you don't want to have it on the inside of your defensive structures. But it depends on how you plan out your map. So I'll get that built, and of course those sheep are going to need food and water. So I'll put a little well here just outside of it. And I will plant a little bit of food there just for them. But that's all the farming that I want to do. Again, I really don't want to do any more than it's absolutely necessary. In fact, I might delete this. Nah, we'll keep it for now. Okay.